Hello and welcome to a new episode of Connected from Home, where we choose to stay safe yet refuse to be disconnected. We connect with interesting people from all around the world, get to know more about them, seek inspiration, and have fun. What's the hottest topic nowadays? What do we fear the most? It's COVID 19. So, why not have a chat with a recovered case from COVID 19, a resident in Bahrain who can share with us her experience? It's Svetlana Prodanova. She's a photographer and journalist who has been a resident in Bahrain for almost 20 years now. She'll share with us her experience, treatment, recovery, and all. Stay tuned. Hello, Svetlana, and welcome to this episode of Connected from Home. And I'm so glad to see you now, safe and sound, after recovering from COVID 19.
Hi, Heba. It's been a very long time, and I really appreciate for having me here because I want to share a lot of things with the people in Bahrain about the treatment. And thank you very much again.
You're most welcome. It's our pleasure to have you. I think a lot of people know you in Bahrain, but just give us a brief introduction about yourself. I know you've been here for a long time, a lifetime. So just give us an introduction about how much time you spent here in Bahrain. What do you do?
Yes, it's truly a lifetime, and it goes so unnoticeably. It's just you don't know the time where it goes in the end. I've been here for 20 years this month. It's my 20th anniversary. I'm Bulgarian national, and I've been in the media here in Bahrain with my late partner Gek for nearly 20 years again. 18 years since 2002 when we formed our own company. So it's been a real pleasure to be here and to get to know people of Bahrain. It's absolutely amazing experience. I love Bahrain, and I don't see it as any other than my own home, second home.
And I bet Bahrain sees the same. Okay, I wanted to tell me how you contracted the virus.
I contracted the virus actually in London. Gek and I, we were on a job out of Bahrain, and he became ill. We discovered he had a brain cancer, and we had to go back for treatment to UK, where he was his choice. Yes. So he was admitted at that point when coronavirus started to really be on the rise. In March, he was admitted in the hospital, which hospital I understand that at that time I realized that it was the first coronavirus death in the same hospital. So, and at the same hospital, Gek passed away. It was not from the coronavirus, but it was from the disease, this cruel disease. So I'm absolutely sure I contracted the virus there. And
he rest in peace. He's going to be missed. He had his presence in the media society and actually everywhere. We always waited to see him, and
he was very much loved by everyone, media and everyone who met him.
Yes.
So that's what happened. I contracted the virus there, and as I was keeping very close contact with the Bahrain embassy in UK, actually, which I really want to thank them, Sheikh Fawaz, and his undersecretary Fahad Ben Ali. I want to thank them. I just can't thank them enough. I was advised by them to return to Bahrain as soon as possible because there was the situation was very critical. It was almost the flights to be closed, cancelled. Everything was unstable. So they
Yes.
advised me to return to Bahrain as soon as possible because there were a lot of things to be sorted out here. And when I decided to come back to Bahrain and I got the ticket, I felt that I have the coronavirus. I just felt it.
A lot of people confuse corona, getting corona with getting a common flu, for example, influenza. So how did you realize this is corona? What did you feel exactly?
I felt this very strange feeling in my throat, which I've never experienced before. It is this dry cough. Keep in mind, I didn't have the strong symptoms. I didn't have the very severe symptoms like some people experience. But again, that's probably because of my strong
Thank
immune
God.
system. Yeah, thank God I was blessed to have the mild symptoms, but they were this cough where it was persistent and very annoying, dry cough like you've never experienced before. I had a very mild fever as well, but very mild. All my symptoms are very mild. At that time, I was really the same time very scared because of the situation. It was on the rise, and the information on, about the disease was getting very, very intense. The situation in London was as well very, very serious. Everything was on lockdown. The supermarkets were absolutely shelf emptied. The pharmacies were empty, closed. The pharmacies were closed. I've been taking some photos of that time. Empty streets, empty roads. Very rarely people were commuting. You could see in the buses or on the roads. Roads were empty. And I was staying in central London,
Which is something that is very rare to happen in London,
it's
especially central London.
Absolutely, yeah. And it was eerie, to be honest with you, to see this. You feel like you are in the, in those movies. Anyway, I returned following the advice from the embassy. And the first thing was when I landed in Bahrain, because I felt already I was with mask and I was taking all the precautionary measures because again, I felt I want to protect other people. It's not at some point it's not all about ourselves, we have to think about other people.
Of course.
And I was wearing my mask, and at the airplane was very well actually arranged, where passengers were separated. There was not like sitting next to each other. That was from Gulf Air, which we have to give them the credit for that, because at that time there was this rule where people should, like at the moment it is. You have to follow the distance. That time the rule even was not established, but they managed to to foresee all this situation and to a little bit be creative in this aspect to to protect people. So I was sitting alone on a seat. Of course, there were not so many passengers as well, but there's still people traveling, trying to get back home. And I was really careful because I was still coughing under my mask. And then when I arrived, I didn't really know what to expect, but that was amazing experience. I tell you, I still get goosebumps when I remember about that. Because as soon as we landed, and you could see all those people, I get emotional about this. You see all the people, our medical staff dressed fully covered with, the proper outfit for this, where even I didn't see this even in London. We were like far ahead of everyone else of time. All this US, UK, we were much better what I saw. So
Bahrain was honestly a role model, even at the beginning with the number of tests and precautions. very early before the rest of the world. Yes.
Still is. It is still is. If you
Yeah.
look at the proportion, if you look at the, the tests done per capita, it
Yes.
is. It's not.
Yes.
There is no
Bahrain is
precedent
still
in the
taking the
world.
lead.
I believe. Yes, I believe that.
Yes.
So let's get back to my arrival. When
Yes.
I got back and I saw all those people, and they were all taking care of all the passengers on arrival.
Yes.
We were placed in a bus, and with this bus we were taken to those chalets, where they were made. They were. I'm not sure because I haven't been to the airport, but they were there, and all the passengers were taken there and tested for absolutely free. And
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but when I arrived and I told the first person I saw, I said, I want to be tested because I know I have it. And I remember the lady said, don't worry, she said, everybody will be tested. And then I had like this relief that it's really emotional. I felt, like I've been taken care of.
Yeah.
It's not only me, you see all those people. And it didn't matter what nationality were
Yes.
people and who they are, where they come from. This
Yes.
country took a good care and still does about
Yes.
all the COVID patients. So that was it. We were tested. Um,
Okay.
we waited quite a long time, but that it's a procedure. There's nothing we could do, anyone else,
Yes.
to speed it up.
Yes.
So
For the test
yeah,
results to appear as well.
yeah. But we were
Mm-hmm.
we were allowed to go back to our homes.
Mm-hmm.
We collected our luggage, and we were allowed to go back home. And not, I was not surprised when the next morning I received a call, and I see the call, which is it's a number which is government number, and
Yes.
I received the call, and the lady who called me, she said, I'm calling from public health, and we want to inform that you tested coronavirus positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had this, smile, and I said, yeah, I deep inside myself, I knew it.
Okay. So you weren't surprised at all.
No, I was not surprised. I was expecting it. And actually, I said, okay. I said, what do you want me? What do I have to do now? And she said, don't worry. Just within 15 minutes, there will be it will come and pick you up. You just get your, most necessary things, and um, you will be picked up, and you will be taken to isolation, to facility where patients taken care of.
How were you treated? How did the medical staff treat you?
We had on each floor there was, of course, is the kitchen of the labor camp kitchen, and they were good labor camps. I have to say, they were good labor camps.
Yeah.
So people who will live there, they will even get a good life.
Yeah.
So in this kitchen, we had whatever you can think of: coffee, tea, coffee mate, all sorts of biscuits, anything you can think of your daily routines.
Yeah.
So now let's get back to, okay, we had like 3 times a day food delivered to our door inside to the room.
Mm-hmm.
And the food was absolutely delicious. I will not say the company.
Nice.
I will not say, because it will be advertising the company.
Okay, don't say.
No, it's not, but it's a very well-known company in Bahrain. We were very pleased with good, freshly cooked food, and sometimes even delivered a loaf of freshly baked bread and croissants from another well-known company in Bahrain. But again, those was part of, I think they were doing some charities to help the COVID-19 people recover faster and more, in successful way, to have a good experience. So let's get back to treatment.
Yeah.
Now we were people with we were considered asymptomatic people. We were not in the facility where were, the cases where were,
Yes.
the serious cases. But I believe they were treated much, much better than us, and we were treated very well. We had three
Yes.
times a day visit from the center, which was outside the medical staff. They had cabins, and in the chalets, they were outside of the buildings. And we had a list of telephone numbers. I still keep that telephone number lists in my photo gallery, where you have like maybe 10 numbers. You have a room service number, you have medical stuff, you have um, cleaning stuff. It's just anything you need. It's a call. It was a phone call away. You just get your mobile, call, and they would just within 5 minutes. You want something to be cleaned, you want something to be delivered to you, you want something, it's there. It was a hotel service. Apart from that, because we were taking by emergency, they kept asking people who were on medications and they need supply from their medications. They were supplying the medications to the patients without any big drama or issues. They just ask, what do you need? Just say what you need and they provide you with all you need. I was at that time on antidepressants prescribed because of the situation. I just couldn't handle it without it, and they provided with that as well. So it was. I have no nothing. Just my admiration for the whole process and how well was organized. It was experience which I will never forget, and I will always be grateful to this country, to the leadership, to the whole organization. We have to understand how difficult that was. We have to be organized in this short time,
of course,
and all the logistics about that. The logistics, how to coordinate between all institutions, people, patients, and all this. It was amazing. That's why, as you say, we are still. I believe we are the number one of how we handled the whole situation.
Yes.
So,
how much time did you spend there at the facility?
Yes, that was interesting again. I had to do so. The process. How is the process? I spent total 9 days. I was on the 9th day out. So what happens when you are admitted to the center? You on the 4th day. At that time like that, because I think the conditions and all was changing all the time. According to the developments, because nobody else knew about the virus.
Yes.
So on the 4th day, we had to be tested again.
Yes.
That was my second test. The test was again taking about 12 hours to come up to the results. And my test, funny enough, it showed negative. But they say,
nice.
The test shows negative, but you need a second test to confirm the next day, to confirm that the test is really not false, not false negative. Because that was the concern at the time. You need to confirm with second test. Sometimes it shows false negative because, maybe how it's taking the test, or who knows. They said also some of the tests were not efficient enough. This is it's a medical thing. There is no 100% sure in everything. And then
but that's another testament supporting the keenness. This is keenness. Like, not you don't just get the negative test and say, "Oh, okay, you're free to go." No, let's repeat the test.
Yes, let's repeat
Reflect
the test
keenness.
sure, yes, to make
Yes.
sure that it is,
Yes.
and not just get rid of the patients and to we've done our
Exactly.
job. No, it was reassurance. So what happened the next day? The test result comes and I'm positive again.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that showed that the test was not really showing
Negative.
negative.
Yes.
And then I had to wait another, I think, 3 or 4 days. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what happened. That's why it came to 9 days I stayed there. My sensation and everything started to get back to me.
Yes.
And I said, I'm getting better. I feel I'm better. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, my first test comes negative. And I'm again
Yes.
waiting for the second test. And I'm thinking, oh my God, oh my God, please, I need, because in the end of the day, you want to get out, never mind how nice it is. And
Yes.
so I'm just next day and I'm waiting. Oh my God, it's negative. And the good thing
Thank
is,
God.
I have to say that we have the application.
Yes.
I really wish people use this application, which is, of course, the application. I can show
Yes.
you here. This is Be Aware
Mm-hmm.
application. You of
Mm-hmm.
course, you know that. I mean, this application is really useful, and I think
Yes.
people should be a little bit more considerate and use it to protect other people. Those
Okay.
people who are vulnerable, the people who are with weak immune system, immune
Of course. Yes.
compromised,
They are
that.
the priority. This is why we all
Of
have to
course.
protect ourselves.
Of course, because me, I told you I'm strong. I feel strong, and I feel
Yes.
I can do. But still, I
Yes.
use this because I know there are not so, and you really don't know what's person next to you. You don't
Yes.
know his
Yes.
condition. There are people
Yes.
with cancer. There are people with diabetes. There are people with other disease, which is
Yes.
it they can't control. So we have to think
Yes.
about those people, not only
Of
about
course.
ourselves.
Yes. And this is the idea of the program by Bahrain International,
That's right.
connected from home,
Yes,
without putting anyone at risk.
it's you. You've done a great job, Heba.
Thank you. Okay. Now tell us, what advices would you tell people? What would you tell the audience of Bahrain International after this experience?
To appreciate what we have, to appreciate
Yes.
the moment we enjoy. We have to appreciate our loved ones. We have to appreciate the freedom we have once we get it back, because right now we don't have our full freedom. We are
Yes.
quite restricted, but we are restricted for our own sake, for our own good. And my advice to people is to follow the rules of the government, whatever it is issued. They're changing it all the time. We have this application again. Be aware, the rules are
Yes.
all the time changing, and the more we follow them, the faster we will get out of this situation.
Yes. Okay, so what's the first thing that you want to do when they find a vaccine for corona and when they say, okay, there are no more corona restrictions?
Oh
What's the
God,
first thing that you want to do?
I was thinking to get to make some, like, I don't even know what they call it, memorial for Gek, something which we get together and
Yes,
you
yes,
know
that would be beautiful.
yeah, to remember him, like
Yes,
remembrance. Well, I don't know in English what's
yes,
even called. I wish I
yes,
never learned this word, to be honest with you. But I want, because he didn't have the chance to be sent in a proper way.
yes.
So that's probably I want to get,
Yeah.
the
One
closest
of the
people,
worst things
colleagues. Yeah,
about this outbreak of COVID-19 and having this phase, we don't get to say goodbye to the ones we love.
that was. I feel so bad for people who lost their loved ones, and some of them they even didn't see them.
I was so glad to see get the award. You could tell us more about the award. Like I think this was the last maybe big public gathering.
That was his well-deserved award.
Yes.
On the occasion of the 4th edition of the Khalifa bin Salman Press Award 2019. That
Yeah.
was the last award.
I interviewed him that day.
Yeah, yes, you did. You did.
Remember.
And I still have your photos with him. And
Yes.
our dear friend Habib was as well there. We state our appreciation of your outstanding contributions in the media sector and our pride in your endeavors and capabilities, with our best wishes of further success and achievements, which
Yes.
unfortunately...
He was awarded, yes, by His Royal Highness the Prime Minister.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That was his like top moment in his life, probably here in Bahrain, because
Yes.
he has done for 40 years, even during the Gulf War, he's been broadcasting, and he had a lot of achievements. But
yes. It's a great loss for the media society.
Yes, it is in Bahrain, because he he contributed a lot to Bahrain. Media.
And his contributions are still alive.
It is, yes.
His work is still alive.
They will remain, yes, they will remain. And I believe Bahrain was quite lucky to have him.
Yes.
And Bahrain deserved as well. Bahrain deserved what his last days, the last days of his life were really difficult, because he wanted to come back to Bahrain so badly. He wanted to be treated.
Yeah.
He wanted to be treated here, where he just, this was like his last wish, actually. He wanted to come back here.
Well,
it was very difficult.
Well, his heart is here, his soul is here, and people who love them, people who love him, are all here. And
he called.
Yeah, he's still present with us.
He called Bahrain home.
Okay, you are a photographer, and you have been living in Bahrain for 20 years. So, what is your favorite shot?
It's for some reason when I go down in Manama, downtown Manama, the skylight of the financial harbor, the trade center. This is it's a funny thing you ask me, because I remember this place before it was reclaimed, and I've been walking down there, and those are one of my sweetest probably memories of Bahrain, when it was this like simple place where you were feeling so home. So you feel you could walk in the night, 3 a.m. Walk absolutely fearless down there, and you feel home, and no fear of that somebody, you meet people at that time and you say hello. But that's the place where it still somehow attracts me, and the difference, of the development, contrast, and to see this country grown up so much.
Thank you, Svetlana, for being with us in this episode of Connected from Home. I hope I always see you in good health, good shape, safe and sound. And I want to thank you again for all the photographs taken by you, documenting your story and documenting beautiful aspects about the Kingdom of Bahrain.
Thank you, Heba, and I want to thank Bahrain International for giving me opportunity to tell my story to the people of Bahrain. I really appreciate it.
And we appreciate your presence with us so much. Thank you.
This is the end of today's episode of Connected from Home. See you next week with new topics, features, and stories from all around the world.